It's Taylor and I'm back. It's been such a long time since I've talked to you guys, especially about Army ROTC, and I feel so bad, and I feel like I say this every single video, but I've actually been busy with finals in school and stuff, and it also takes me like 7 hours to edit a video, but that's no excuse. But anyways, you guys have been DMing me, and just like the constant like DMs and messages and all this stuff really motivates me to get back out here and start doing it more and just be on top of it for you guys. So I asked you guys to shoot me some questions on Instagram, and if you all don't follow me on Instagram, I'm gonna link that stuff right here. But I asked you guys to send me some questions, and this is just not general questions, but if you're already in the program or you're just getting started, either way, this hopefully is informative, if not in the least entertaining. So I'm gonna do my best to give you guys my wisdom. Not really, but I'm an MS3, I go to University of Miami, and I feel like from what I've gathered, I'm gonna give you guys the best advice I can. Like I said, there's obviously always more knowledgeable people out there, but I'm gonna give you guys just my insights. Yeah, I just filmed this entire video and I realized my camera wasn't filming, so I get to do this all again. Yay me. Hannah Gillies 12 asks, what's your APFT score with numbers for each event? So my APFT score on the last record, the like not extended scale, I had a 300, and then an extended scale, I had a 345. And my scores in each event, I had 61 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and then a 1453 2-mile. And the best I've ever done, last spring I was doing a lot better on like my push-ups and sit-ups, and I had like 75 push-ups and then 106 sit-ups, and like at that point I was just running out of time to do more. But also every time I do sit-ups, my back starts bleeding because I throw myself down, and that's a really good tip too, which you guys, some people ask about that, but like throwing yourself down on the sit-up so you're not wasting your core's energy. But yeah, so that's my scores. And also a goal for me is always to try to max on the men's scale of like the push-ups and sit-ups at least. Like the run's really hard, I'll give you guys that, but I always like strive to hit the men's numbers on maxing, just because this new ACFT is coming, and we all are going to be on the same scale, so I see no reason why I shouldn't aim for their scale, so they can't say anything. Anna 1il20, sorry if I said that wrong, said I've applied and hope I get picked up after first board. How competitive is that board? So from my experience personally, just from like what I've noticed, so I got selected on the second board, which was like March or something, but what I had noticed is a lot of like the 4 years were more picked up on the first board, just because they give away the slots, and then they'll give away a lot more in the second, and then by the third it's kind of just filling what slots they have left. So like the sooner you can apply, I'd say the less competitive it is, just because they have more scholarships to give. So I'd say you got a pretty good chance. Okay, so Marie X Molina said, and shout out to you, girl, love you, you're so sweet. She said, how long did it take you to pass your PT test, and how did you get better? So my first PT test I ever took my freshman year, I passed. So I've never like not passed my PT test actually. I got like I said, like a 275 or something, but also you have to realize, like, I came from a high school where I was like playing a ton of sports, and I was like super athletic and involved and stuff. So I can understand cadets or students come in and they didn't really have that kind of an athletic background, and that's completely okay. But how did I get better? Well, first, like, the running for me has always been the hardest. And when I first started, I was like trying to max. I would max my other two stuff, and I couldn't max the run. So I would just pick up on people and like other cadets who were running the time that I wanted to be running, and maybe like 15 seconds faster. And I would just pace them and not lose them and just stay right behind them. And also just going to the gym outside of the PT hours, just because doing a lot of running in PT is not going to get you where you need to be with push-ups and sit-ups and that kind of stuff. In fact, my freshman year lost a ton of weight only running, and a lot of it was muscle weight. My push-ups and sit-ups and my bench max and all that went down. So just going to the gym and doing weight training on your own. All right, so Real Ray Jin, shout out to you. You've been here since day one. I see you. And he's MS1 here. Do you feel any pressure leading by example as an MS3? I guess a little bit at first, especially when I was like ending my 2-year, I was a little bit nervous about it all, making sure I'm setting the right example and doing everything correctly and stuff. But honestly, I really like having that kind of like a leadership role now, just because I noticed, like, from being an MS1, I would watch the threes and I would pick up on like what was good and like this was bad, and I didn't, you know what I mean? I would pick up on like the leadership mistakes or the good things that they did, and I would try to just remember that and keep that in mind. And then just being a 3, I'm just picking up and trying to show the best example as well to like the 2s and the 1s and stuff. I really like being able to like help them and I guess give advice to them just from like what I noticed, so they can get ahead more or less and not make the same mistakes, or just like get ahead as a 2 just so they could be even stronger 3 than I'm being a 3. So Ashlyn Cool said, what are some things to do to help get a scholarship? So in high school, I'd say some of the things that really help, like I said, my ACT was not the best. My GPA was like a 4.5 or something like that. So I had that, and also my high school resume overall was just super stacked. I know they have like activities and clubs and organizations, so just trying to get super involved in as many like clubs and organizations as you can. I'd say they really look at that to just see that you're involved in like an overall really well-rounded student. Destiny Milena said, I just started with ROTC, but how do you stay motivated in that course? Also, I love you. Love you too, girl. Okay, but how do I stay motivated in ROTC? Honestly, I don't know if it's motivation or discipline at this point, but I think there's a point that motivation turns into discipline. But I think the best thing for me is staying motivated even in like situations like FTX and stuff where I'm not that thrilled and it's definitely not the best circumstances. It's just making friends and the camaraderie with like other cadets. I swear it makes all the difference, because everything might suck, but just having everyone else and go through the same suck together just makes it almost fun. Leah Rahil, shout out to you. I said your last name wrong, but she's my battalion. She said, how much should you cry if you get shot in the ass by your captain with a paintball gun? That's funny, because our last FTX, me and her got destroyed by our captain. Shout out to you. We were hiding behind a giant storage bin, and he came around the corner and nailed us, and that very much hurt. So thank you, Captain. Sean, Say, Anna, Grady. I destroyed your name. I know I did. I'm so sorry. But she said, biggest piece of advice for an incoming freshman girl in the ROTC program. I'm trying to look back at my freshman year. Honestly, I was so clueless when I walked in. I had no idea what was going on. But I would always like show up and just put my best effort forward, because your first year is going to be the year that you have the least responsibilities, but you also have no clue of really what's going on. And I know you show up to a lot of labs and probably a lot of it's not making sense, but it will. So pay attention as much as you can, because I swear in a year or so, things are going to start to click. And then as you learn more, the pieces you learned your first year are going to be like, oh my God, that makes sense now. So I'd say just pay attention and get involved. Try to do as many like ROTC activities as you can. Go to the gym, work out, get your PT score. Also keep good grades, because I know a lot of cadets their first year, they might like not do that well, and then it comes back to them like in a few years with your GPA. So just really focus on school. Oh, Cassidy, he's also my battalion. So how fun is ROTC? ROTC is so fun. And then Marie's 17. Definitely butchered your name. She said, are you nervous for advanced camp? I'm a little nervous for advanced camp, not of like passing and that kind of stuff, because I know that they push everyone through, but I'm most nervous about the field tactics and just trying to lead and do the like the battle drills out in the field as like PL and PSG, just like general things of where to place men and making decisions on the spot and that kind of stuff. Hey dude, Lennon 101st, he said, aerosol. Have any advice on how to get points on the OML and increase your rank on the OML? This is a tricky question, because to be honest, I don't think anyone actually knows how the OML ranking system works, but they're also changing it, so it's going to be like a little different. I know they're going to start interviewing the class below us, so like the 2s and below, they're going to start interviewing for your branches. This is just from what I've seen and what I've gathered from the 4 and like cadre and stuff. But your GPA and your PT scores are like definitely weighted the highest, especially your GPA. So just having good grades, that's really what I'm focusing on right now, because everything else is just kind of going to be like sugar on it, like being in intramural sports and stuff like that. But just having a good GPA and doing well on your PT scores. Doing all these color guards and putting all this time into doing color guard and stuff like that is what, like 2 or 3 points or something, when if you can increase your GPA by like 10%, like, or like a 0.1 on like your 3.6 to 3.7, you get like 15 points added to your OML. I know my numbers aren't exact on that, but I was just saying for an example, but it's weighted so much higher to just do well in grades. So just do well on your school, Okay, Jenna Kendrick, she has a few questions. She said, tips for surviving, LOL. I'm transferring to PSU next year to be in ROTC and the nursing program, so I need all the advice. And then she said also how to do well on the PT test. So I kind of like touched on that a little bit. But another thing with the PT test with the run, which also I'm gonna link this song, I'll put it here or like link it in the down below, but there's this song that I listen to and it is like the perfect steps, like the beat is super fast paced and it's like a remix, and I listened to it at least twice on the way to the PT test, and I just like memorize the beat and some of the lyrics, and when I'm running and I'm like really depressed and I hate my life, I just like listen to the song in my head and I kind of sing it to myself and I hear the rhythm and it just keeps my pace almost, especially on that second mile. But also on that first mile, I've learned it's better for me. I know everyone is different, so you need to figure out for yourself. But running that first mile for me faster helps so much more. And then trying to the second mile, I can go a minute slower and still hit like a 14:50 or whatever. But also I get to the point where I want to throw up on the second mile. And so when I start to feel like I'm gonna vomit, I slow down and not a lot, but a little bit so I don't puke. And then I keep running again, like faster. And I just keep doing that because the moment I start dry heaving, I'm done. She asked also, what do you want to do after graduation? And also I'm going to throw in Haley Goodman's question right here because she asked, what do you want to branch and how did you decide? Right now, what I want to branch, my first one is aviation. And aviation is one of the most competitive branches for sure. But everyone hates me for this, but I want guard or reserves, to be honest. I'm like pushing towards guard though, but I want aviation because if you go active on aviation, one, is very competitive, and two, it is, which is not like what I'm nervous about, but I'm more nervous about getting active and then getting a branch that I don't really want. And on top of that is like after you reach like captain or something, you're not really getting to fly all that much. And so I don't really want that as a full-time thing. But my other two options below that would be like MI, cyber, maybe MP, I don't know. But those are definitely like my top three. But yeah, that's my plan as of right now. But as you guys know, your plan changes dramatically every year. But I got to put it in the spring, so stay tuned for what I get. Chris Wells said, no question, Air Force is better. You're funny. No hate on Air Force or Navy, you guys. All the branches are great. MH Brady 3 said, did you find it intimidating when you first started, like having to do PT and training? This is kind of really funny because I know everyone still has the same exact situation when they first joined ROTC, and it's that initial situation when you show up to PT and they start doing PRTs, and you guys know exactly what I'm talking about because you're standing there and you're like, why the heck? Why is one, everyone knows this by memory, and two, this does nothing. This stretches nothing. PRT, I think, just watching that and just feeling kind of stupid at first. So we're sitting, like we're out here in the middle of a gym or whatever it was, and we're just, the bend and reach. First it was a little intimidating, and then I realized like all the other students and the older kids who are like very high speed and all that, they're still just normal students, and you can talk to them, make friends. You'll really become close with your MS class, so it wasn't too intimidating. The cadre, I think, can be the most intimidating for sure because some cadre members can be really scary or like hard and you don't really know how to act with them. But I've noticed too, as you get older, the cadre is a lot more friendly and they are a lot more connecting to you as a cadet, and they treat you more like an officer, obviously, as you get like older in the program. That's the last question, guys. So let me know if any of you all want to see any other Army videos and what you guys want to see. I plan to film next semester a day in the life of a cadet and like do that kind of stuff again like I used to be on top of, but we're gonna get back to that. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all. Follow my Instagram, Snapchat, all that will be in the down below. But I love you guys, and I'll talk to you guys soon. So peace, love you, bye.